Okay, now the flap that you just sewed under, this is on the lower pocket. The next step is to take this piece of the locker caddy. This is going to be like the back of the locker caddy, like you sew the pockets on. So it's printed, it has the dotted lines on it. And we're going to take where it says GH in the corners, and then on this printed lower pocket it says GH. So we're going to line up the G and the H, and we're going to pin on there. Is that an okay angle? Mm-hmm. So when you're pinning, you want to pin perpendicular. That's the opposite of parallel. Parallel is like this, perpendicular is like this. So you want to pin perpendicular to the edge of the fabric. So we're going to pin, go down through both fabrics and then up through both fabrics and take the pin over so that the pin head is right there at the edge of the fabric. That's what's most easy to take out while you're stitching, because you're going to want to take these out before you stitch over them. Okay, so we'll pin all the way around. Okay. So then down here, I'm still pinning perpendicular. Go down through both fabrics and up through both fabrics. Be careful not to poke yourself. Make sure it's lined up evenly. The G's and the H's on the corners line up. Okay. Then, and you don't pin the top because we're not going to sew across the top. If we sewed across the top, we would sew our pocket shut, and we don't want to do that. So then we're going to stitch all the way right close to here on this edge. Okay? I'm going to stitch all that way from, yeah, so stitch really close, less than 1/4 of an inch, the instructions say, and 1/4 of an inch is really small. So less than 1/4 of an inch from the edge. So right as close to the edge as you can. Stitch the sides and the bottom of the pocket. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Removing the pins as you stitch. So go really close there. Let's see. So have a pin cushion near so you can remove those pins as you stitch. I'm going to go forward, 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 back stitch, backward, 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 then back to forward. Making sure to go through both layers of the fabric and stay right close to that edge if you can. And take each pin out before you get to it. Do not sew over the pins. Get up close to the top. Go over the edge, back stitch, and finish up, stop, pull up, and we're going to trim that edge out. Then so I did one side here. Now then you're going to do the other sides. Okay, so I'm going to start here, go this way, and then this way. So again, I want to be lined up. I mean, you're inside the seam line even because you're just right close there, as close as you can get. So I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to back stitch, and I'm going to go forward the rest of the way. Watch out for the pins. I want to take the pins out as we get there. feel like you have to go fast. It's more important for your lines to be straight and your stitches to be straight than for you to go fast. Okay, take those pins out as you get to them. And as I get to the edge, I'm not going to go all the way past the edge. I'm going to pivot here. So I want my needle to be down in the fabric. I'm going to lift up the presser foot. Needle is down or it messes up your thread. Needle down, lift up the presser foot, turn your fabric. That's called a pivot. You should have done that with the paper stitching. And then put your presser foot back down and go forward, so you don't have to cut thread and waste thread, and you don't have to back stitch or anything. So we turn the corner that way, pivoting. Now remember, you're still sewing right close to the edge there. Going nice and slow, keep it a straight, even line. Of the pocket, go over and back stitch a few stitches back, and finish going forward, and lift up and pull it out, and you can use scissors or the little blade here to trim out those fabrics, and then you want to trim it up close. So we attached the pocket to the back of the locker caddy here by stitching along there. So you'd want to trim out those extra threads now and then move on to the next step.